Have you ever watched the person you love become a complete stranger right before your eyes? The glow from her phone screen at 2 in the morning was the first clue, painting her face in a ghostly blue light I no longer recognized. She was smiling at something, a private, satisfied little smile that wasn't for me. For 3 months, she'd been a whirlwind of changed new hair, sudden obsession with the gym, a wardrobe that screamed single. She said it was for us to reignite the spark. But as I stood in the doorway of our dark bedroom, a cold dread washed over me. The woman in my bed, the one who now looked like a catalog model for a life I wasn't a part of, was hiding something. And that night, I knew with chilling certainty that I was about to lose everything. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started subtly, a new perfume. Lingering scents of something expensive and unfamiliar clung to her clothes when she'd come home late from drinks with the girls. Jessica, my wife of 7 years, had always been beautiful, but this was different. This was a reinvention. Her dark chestnut hair, the hair I used to run my fingers through, was suddenly a bright, chemical blonde. "He likes blondes," she'd once joked, pointing at some actor on a billboard downtown. The memory, once meaningless, now echoed in my mind like a siren. She started quoting a man named Mark from her office, a senior partner I'd never met. "Mark says this. Mark thinks that he was a ghost in our home, a name that carried more weight than mine." The humiliation was a slow burn. I'd make dinner, and she'd pick at it, her eyes glued to her phone, occasionally laughing at a text. "Just work stuff," she'd say, the lie so smooth it was almost impressive. She became a master of deflection, a cold, manipulative artist painting a new life over the canvas of ours. One evening, I found a receipt from a fancy hotel tucked into her coat pocket. A room for 2, champagne, dinner at their rooftop bar. It was dated for a night she told me she was at a conference out of town. That was the moment the floor fell out from under me. I sat on our bed, the receipt trembling in my hand. And for the first time in our marriage, I felt utterly, completely broken. The villains, Jessica and her ghost Mark, felt untouchable, living in a world of rooftop bars and expensive lies, while I was left in the wreckage of our home. My home, the breakdown wasn't loud. It was a quiet, internal collapse. I went through the motions work, Jim, sleep but inside. I was a hollowed-out shell. Then, something shifted. The grief curdled into a cold, hard resolve. If she was going to destroy our life, I was going to document every second of it. I started gathering proof. I installed recovery software on her old laptop she'd left in the study. The deleted messages flooded the screen, a torrent of deceit. Hundreds of them, plans, promises, pictures. Their smugness was nauseating. They mocked me. "He's so clueless." One of her texts to Mark read, "He actually believes I'm at yoga." I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who operated out of a small office downtown. He was expensive, but every dollar felt like an investment in my own sanity. He delivered a manila envelope filled with glossy 8 bites and some of them kissing in a parking garage. Holding hands in the park, entering the same hotel from the receipt, the legal and social traps were next. I consulted a shark of a divorce attorney, a woman whose reputation was legendary. We planned everything meticulously. I opened a new bank account and started quietly moving half of our joint savings. I contacted the board of the charity Jessica chaired, a position she used for social climbing, and scheduled an anonymous tip about a potential misuse of funds. I knew she'd been skimming to fund her new lifestyle. The public exposure was the final act. Jessica's annual charity gala was the perfect stage. It was the biggest night of her social calendar, held at a grand, historic hotel. She was in her element, floating through the room in a glittering gown, Mark by her side, introduced to everyone as her colleague. I waited until she was on stage, giving her speech about integrity and community. As she smiled for the applause, the large screens on either side of the stage, meant to display donor names, flickered. And then there it was, a slideshow. The first image was a photo of them kissing in the parking garage, blown up for all 300 guests to see. A collective gasp filled the ballroom. The next photo was a screenshot of her text message, "He's so clueless." The room fell into a dead, horrified silence. Jessica froze, her face a mask of pure terror. Mark looked like he'd seen a ghost and vanished into the crowd. I watched from the back of the room as her entire world imploded. The board members stared at her with contempt. Her friends recoiled. She was utterly, publicly, and completely ruined. Stumbled off the stage, her social empire reduced to ash in a matter of seconds. I didn't stay to watch the rest. I just walked out into the cool night, the sounds of the chaos fading behind me. I never saw her again after that night, but I heard she moved out of the city, buried under a mountain of legal fees and social disgrace. Sometimes late at night, I think about that woman with the blonde hair, a stranger I once called my wife. The revenge wasn't a victory. It was just an ending. All that's left now is the quiet. Thanks for watching.